Okay. I don't have a hammer. Greetings everyone, and thank you so much for coming out tonight. It's really, really great. We have some extra special guests. I want to thank them right at the beginning so that I don't forget in the excitement of all the speeches. So first I want to introduce, and this is, we have a lot of thanks going to this person, is Beth Alonso. Beth is is in charge of the Rotary organizations Interact and Rotaract for junior high and high school is Interact, and then Rotaract is for college. She gets them all going on all kinds of service projects. She and I have worked with the youth leadership program twice before, and this time we didn't quite do it together, but she and her husband donated the space, the buildings. We had a wonderful building. And now, before I forget, I'm going to give her back the key. Yeah, it was really, really great. Oh, and by the way, while we're clapping, let's see, Adrian. Can you show us clapping that's not so good? Right. Right. Okay, now, Adrian, can you show us good clapping? Yes. Okay, so as the audience, you have a role tonight as well. That is to keep the energy, the support, the encouragement lively in the room. And you're going to do that with clapping. Now, just follow along, but generally it's going to be when people are coming up and when they're going down. And it may be just whoever's up here starts clapping, and then you just need to join in too. So get your hands ready. And, this is, all right, let's do it. Okay, quick practice round. Here we go. Good clapping. Group, yelpers, was that sufficient? Okay, I got a thumbs up. Yeah, Spencer's here. All right. Okay, great. Okay, so on with the thank yous. We also have some people from the local Golden Speakers Toastmasters Club, which you may not be aware, but it is sponsoring this youth leadership program. I am the president of that club, but I love doing this youth leadership program. So that's my role. We also have our Area 94 director, who is Rick Starr, who is a multitasker. He's also the incoming president for next year, starting July 1. And I told him, you've got to come see this. So let's give him a hand up. And we have Dan Craig, the cameraman, also my husband, not necessarily in that order, who will be recording all this, and we have a plan for that. Let me see, is there, oh, and then Raven. Raven Garland, raise your hand. Raven Garland. Oh, Raven, are you going to come back up here and do our timing? Yeah. Okay, so Raven is going to be our timer, but also she is notable because the Spring Toastmasters International Speech Competition happened. Raven went all the way to state level, which is the highest level. She went to the district level, so she represented a big division, which is all in eastern Iowa, basically. And she's here from Fairfield. So it was totally awesome, and let's give her a That's right. You've been in Toastmasters, what, 1 year? Just about a year. I mean, seriously, so we're looking for great things. She didn't win, but she is a contender. So that is there anyone else I'm missing in terms of introductions? Parents, want to thank you also for letting the kids be in this class. It's really been a pleasure. I've met all kinds of people that I didn't know at all, and I love that experience. I love the variety of life. I am watching the time because we have a lot to do, and we have to be out of here by 9 o'clock. We do have ice cream that's going to be happening, and what we were thinking to do. Par, do you want to describe? Kari is our ice cream chairman.
For ice cream, we're going to have our speeches completely finished, and then we're going to have a 5-minute break where we're going to put all the ice cream out there, along with 2 toppings that we have. So I'm going to need as much help as I can get with that. We're going to go in the fridge and get it. And we're going to have 5 minutes to serve it, and then we'll do evaluations.
And what flavors are
There are chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. And for toppings, we have chocolate syrup and caramel syrup.
they? Okay, good. So you can be thinking about that and be ready to go. We're going to get right on. Why don't you come on up, Raven? Raven's going to be our timer. We do everything in Toastmasters with time, because it's not just what you say, but do you say it in the time that's been allotted. Okay, so now I need a seat somewhere. But so here's the plan for tonight. We are going to have all of our speakers, all of our students who went the full distance on this program, which was really good, go do 4 to 5 minute speeches on whatever topic they want, but they're going to be using what I call the full toolbox. So they've learned a number of different skills, a number of different techniques. We've talked about it in class. We've had emails about it. So this is the full Monty, and we'll see how that goes. Then we're going to show you what evaluation looks like, and we're out of those 8 speeches, we're going to have 4 of them evaluated by 4 other people. And evaluating is looking at what are the criteria for a good speech, in both in terms of content and delivery. Did the person, the speaker, meet those criteria? If so, great, and how? And if they didn't meet those criteria, pointing that out and making a suggestion as to how they could have possibly met those criteria. Evaluation is always one person's opinion. It's not written in stone, but it also works the analytical muscles, and we talk about muscles a lot because we're working analytical muscles. I just want to say, and evaluation is something that'll happen throughout your life. So you want to get that muscle in gear. Then we're going to have table topics. And table topics is another muscle group. So we've had prepared speaking muscle group, we've had evaluating muscle group, and then we're going to have table topics, which is the impromptu speaking. And we've got some people selected for that. Spencer, by the way, you're going to be doing table topics too.
Okay, I saw the email.
You saw it? Okay, perfect. And that's a different kind of heart attack. I mean, experience. And then we'll have some wrapping up ceremony and we'll be out the door. Okay, so are there any questions? All right, we're going to get going. And did I leave anything out, yelpers? Okay, good. I think I'll be the master of ceremonies. Is that what I need to do here?
Yep.
Okay, I think what I'm going to do, since I don't have titles, which normally I would do, I'm going to invite each person up, and I'm going to ask them their title. We'll do it, and then we'll get them going. So our first speaker tonight, and they drew cards, so it's all random as to who's going when. Our first speaker of the night is Kari Nayak. Kari's title is Emotional Intelligence. Take it away, Kari.
I'm sure you've all heard the term emotional intelligence, but not many people know what it means. Emotional intelligence affects us in many ways, and I'm going to be talking about a few of them today. Emotional intelligence, as defined by the dictionary, is the ability to manage one's own emotions as well as others. In the workplace or in your general life, emotional intelligence helps you make better decisions in your life without your emotions influencing those decisions, and it helps you make healthy relationships with people. A common emotion that you need emotional intelligence for is anger. Anger comes up anytime. It can happen when you're having a fight with your significant other, or when you're just having a person at work who isn't doing what they're supposed to. The key to emotional intelligence in these sorts of situations is to tell them how you're feeling in a professional way without hurting their feelings. This can be a key role in helping maintain a healthy relationship with that person. Since I've given you a basic introduction on emotional intelligence, I'm now going to tell you 5 keys to emotional intelligence. Number 1 is know your emotions. Don't let them control you, but know them. Number 2 is manage your emotions. Number 3 is recognize emotions in others so that you don't make all your choices based on yourself. Make choices that will make everybody happy. Number 4 is manage relationships. Number 5 is motivate yourself to reach goals. I know this doesn't seem like it has anything to do with emotional intelligence, but it has a lot to do with it. When you motivate yourself to reach your goals, you are manipulating your emotions to work for you, not vice versa. Now that I've told you positives, there's always a negative side. So I'm going to tell you 10 popular anti-emotional ways of thinking. These happen to everybody during times in their lives. Number 1 is all or nothing thinking. It's where you think that you can have everything or you can have nothing at all. I'll give you an example of it. Say I'm on a diet and I decide to go to a party. They have cake there, of course, so I decide to have a slice of cake. If I had an all or nothing mentality, I would say, oh, I've had a piece of cake, might as well eat the whole cake because I've already broken my diet. But if I had emotional intelligence, I would say, hey, I can make it go away at the gym, I can run enough that the calories will go away. Number 2 is overgeneralization. You think too much of a small thing. Number 3 is mind reading. You think you know what a person is thinking, and I'll tell you most of the time that's wrong. Most of the time you do not know what another person is thinking. And 4 is fortune telling, which is one of my favorites because it's got a cool title. Fortune telling is where you think you know what's going to happen when you do something, but you don't. Number 5 is minimization. You put problems to the side and make them smaller than they are. On the contrary, number 6 is maximization. You give too much thought and effort to small issues. Number 7 is personalization. You think everything's about you and you take everything personally. Number 8 is emotional reasoning. You let your emotions control you and help you make their decisions. Number 9 is stereotyping, which I'm sure you've all heard of. It's where you put one person in a group with others based on what you've had experience with that one person. Number 10 is discounting the positives, where you only pay attention to the negatives. How to avoid these are 3 basic steps. 1 is to be honest with yourself. Know how you feel and what you want. Number 2 is remember that you control your emotions, not others, or your emotions don't control you. Number 3, manage your emotions. Don't let them take you over. Emotional intelligence affects us all in our lives daily. I hope you learned a lot from this speech on how to use emotional intelligence the right way and how to avoid it while using it.
Adrian Scotton. His title is Different Coins. Take it away, Adrian.
Why are there so many different coins in the world, you ask? Well, it's actually a simple reason. Since there are so many different countries in the world with different cultures and languages, we need different coins to be able to understand that area, so they don't mix up the wrong coins. If we all had the same coins, then there'd be too many of them, or too little, because we wouldn't be able to spread them around the globe. So if they're on different ones for different countries, then it's a lot easier, so we don't have to spread them around the globe. Different time periods have gone past where there have been rulers over certain places, and there are different materials available for coins. Like, sometimes they didn't even use coins. I learned that they used to use salt sometimes. And then eventually, they started making wooden coins, which have become very rare because they decay so easily. They're thin and they're hard to whittle, which makes them even more valuable due to the decay. Then, once we got hold of metal, they put them in odd shapes or made them really thick and not very well engraved because it's a lot harder than the wood. Then, there was kept coming where it got thinner, yet stayed the same strength. Then they got better at engraving it, better and better, until we have the coins we have today. And sometime along the line, they made paper money, not just metal money, because metal is only a limited source. But paper, they can regrow the trees that we cut down for the paper. Since there are different rulers, they like their pictures on the coins. These rulers are sometimes selfish because they want themselves to be known for a long time. So they put their faces on coins. As soon as they're gone, they start changing them once again. But sometimes, if it's a good ruler, they start putting the pictures on the coins, like we do with George Washington. Since he was one of our best presidents and the first, they put him on one of our coins. And that coin is the third most powerful one we have. It's the 25 cent. Those have changed a lot in their kinds. They've changed how they look. They used to have an American eagle on the back, then they put states with a picture on it, then they put the states with a circle around them with different things. There's certain faces in the state. And this is just in a few years, not a long time. Unlike long time, they do not take, let's say, quite a few years just to be made into a different one. Instead, it takes 2 instead of 4. All of the coins, some of them are made for certain things. Like how we make coins for collections, ones to honor countries, that kind of thing. Some of us gather those because they are fun to collect. And eventually, they could become valuable. There are coin collectors out there who have giants in collections. There's a coin from Canada that was the size of a pizza.
Wow.
And now people have made collections so big, they fill quite a few binders. And these coins are still being made every day. So that's why there are so many different coins in our world. Not just one, but thousands. And this would be the end of my speech.
So interesting, the things I've learned from people. And Adrian, I've learned about fishing, I've learned about his interest in naturalism, and now we've got coins, and it's just always got really good things. Our next speaker is Ahilan Kumar. And one more thing, just audience, I'm going to remind you too, now that you've got the clapping down, which is really good, and it seems like everybody's really good here, but I'm just going to put another little activity for you, is that you're really focusing on the speaker. So you're looking and you're making them, so when they're looking out, they're seeing, wow, engaged, my audience is engaged, and you can nod a little bit if it's something seems good for you, like that. So just, to help out, that's it. They're not always going to have friendly audiences. They may have hostile audiences at some point. So enjoy this while it's here. All right. Helen's title is the holograph principle. Helen. And you said you're doing it without notes? No, I'm just kidding. No.
Thank you.
Okay.
The holographic principle. Sounds pretty cool, sounds like something really sciencey, but why should you care? Well, the holographic principle will hopefully change your perception on how you perceive the world, the universe, and the galaxy we live in. Well, let's start off with a little history. The creator or the founder of the holographic principle started off with Stephen Hawking. He discovered an equation that consisted of three major parts of quantum physics: the theory of relativity, the information theory, and also quantum mechanics as a whole. He put all these three major components together to create one equation. This equation would help scientists understand better how black holes interacted with planets and stars. Now, whenever an object enters a black hole, it enters the boundary. The boundary is known as the event horizon, which is also known as empty space. When it enters this empty space, it starts to get closer to the center and dissipates. It gets obliterated into nothing. Now, there's also another theory that says that everything in the world contains information. In a sense, because everything in the world contains an array of particles that creates it. Every cell contains atoms, which are made of quarks and get smaller and smaller. But those array of particles is what creates this object. So what happens to the array of particles as it's being destroyed by this black hole? Well, Stephen Hawking first proposed the idea with his equation that the energy that is used to create the object remains, but the information needed to create the object disappears. Now, this was very absurd because in all of physics, information can never be destroyed, for it is the utmost powerful knowledge. God, bring me God knowledge stuff. So this was really really hard to grasp and was wrong. Stephen Hawking, for once, was proven wrong. But over the course of the years, from the 80s to the 90s, many scientists have tagged along on this topic and found this very interesting, and they have come up with what is now known as the holographic principle. So what the principle now is if you get an object to go inside of a black hole, the object's information needed to create it will be engraved on the event horizon. Now, if the information needed to create the object is in the event horizon, the object technically isn't gone. It can still be recreated. Just like if a baker has the ingredients and the equipment to create a cake, he has the ability to create a cake. Just like a black hole. Now we've given the ability to a black hole to create something. Because it has the information that it took away from the object, it can recreate it, right? Theoretically, this is possible. But what does this have to do with us? Yeah, black holes, creating cake, what's the big deal? Well, scientists perceive that our galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy, the planet we live on, Earth, may have been transported to this place in the universe by a black hole. The Big Bang, the big eruption from space to create this huge monstrosity was probably just an accident. Was it just the upcoming of a black hole transporting our galaxy from one random place in the universe to this place? And if so, are we just information? If the information needed to create us has been erupted from this black hole, aren't we just a projection? If we are a projection, then are we real? If we're real, are we sure that we aren't some aliens. We aren't the aliens we're looking for. So this brings up the major question that many scientists have been thinking about is, are we just a mere illusion?
So I don't know what your career is going to be, but when you start writing science fiction, I want to be on the mailing list because it's going to be good. All right. Oof. Dan, did you bring that legal pad? Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. So these first three speeches are standalone, but now we're going to start having our evaluators, unbeknownst, working on evaluating the next speakers. So let's see. Helen, you're going to get this one. Oh, okay. And our next speaker is Jacob Scotton. I keep reaching to take their notes. That's now the goal is, just so you know, is not to use notes. That's the goal. But we always teach, have your notes somewhere handy just in case you have a brain meltdown in some way and you can look at your notes. I'm sorry, I keep trying to take the notes. I'm used to, when you accept an award, you shake the hand and then you take the award. Like that. Okay. So his title is entrepreneurship. And you know what we're going to do after I do the title? Clap again.
I'm here today to talk about entrepreneurship, which is owning your own business or being your own boss, basically, and doing your own work. I'm an entrepreneur myself. I have a lawn mowing business, and I mow yards, so I thought this would be a good topic to talk about because I know a lot about it. Why would you want to know anything about how to become an entrepreneur or a successful one? Well, maybe you're a kid just looking for a job, or maybe when you're retired you want to do this, or unluckily you got fired. But I'm going to tell you some steps that I did to follow to become a successful entrepreneur. The first thing I did to become a successful entrepreneur is pick something that you want to do. If you want to own a candy store, do that. If you want to do a car dealership, do that. If you want to mow yards, do that. After that, that's the hard part because you got to pick something good to do. And you have to know that it's going to make you money. You don't want to do something and lose all your money. That would be not what you want to do. That would be the opposite of what you want to do. First, when you start your business, you want to branch out to your customers. You want to think about who your customers are. And I started off with people I knew that I thought were going to actually hire me to do something. And when you do this, they're likely to recommend you to people they think will hire you. And then it just keeps branching out to more and more people who are going to hire you, most likely. Once you get all the customers that you're going to work for, you need to be able to schedule your time. An example of scheduling your time is like, I'm going to mow a yard Monday, Tuesday, and then 2 on Thursday. Or if you own a business, like a candy shop, you can schedule your hours. But the cool thing about being an entrepreneur and being your own boss, if you have your kid's baseball game or soccer game or something, you can just close the store for them and go watch it. Or if you want to go watch a movie and you don't really feel like working, you can just do it the next day. So when you schedule, being an entrepreneur really helps out, other than having a boss saying, no, you can't just leave in the middle of the day. That's why I think entrepreneurship is pretty cool. Be your own boss. And when you're an entrepreneur, usually you get workers or you get some help because you might be sick one day, or maybe you just don't feel like working, or you get injured. Something like that where you could not be able to do your work. You want someone to be able to take your place and do the work for you so that your customers don't leave you. I do this because my dad said he'd help me. So whenever I have like a baseball game and I like have to get 1 yard mowed, he'll do it for me, and I'll let him keep the money. When you start making all this money, the first thing you're gonna do is, ooh, I wanna go buy this, I wanna go buy some candy and video games and stuff. Well, at first, you're probably gonna buy that stuff, but when you start making this money, you're like, I don't really buy this stuff, but I do. You wanna save the money. You wanna put some into a bank so that you can buy a car when you're 16, you can go to college, hopefully, or you can retire at the age of 60 or 50 or whatever. I don't know when to retire. I do this. I have a savings account and a checking account, and I also have an investment at Edward Jones. So the best way I would recommend to save your money is put probably 3/4 of the money you make into savings, and then maybe a little less depending on how much you make, and then keep the rest and then also budget out like bills and stuff. But then be able to make sure to keep some so that you can buy that candy or the video games. If you follow these steps, I believe you can become a pretty good entrepreneur and run a pretty good business. Thank you.
I used to, when we did this program, is I would give a couple of points about something that was strong that I saw to educate the audience, but then I realized since we're going to be doing evaluation, I would be pulling the rug out from under the evaluator. So I have to, even though it's hard, keep my mouth shut about what you're seeing because we're having evaluators. But that was a really good job, Jacob. And I don't know, do we need any mowing? I don't know. But you know, he's just talked to a whole group of potential customers right here. Very smart. Very smart. And it's going to be on FPAC and the whole thing. Very smart. Okay. That was Jacob Scotton. All right. Our next speaker is Amaritha Kumar, and Max is evaluating. You got your paper? Okay. Well, Amaritha's title is What is Beauty?
Good evening, everyone. Tonight I'm going to share with you my answer to the question, what is beauty? Media portrays beauty as a certain type of characteristic or feature. Maybe it's the blue eyes, the straight hair, the blonde hair, the light-colored skin. I'm not saying all these features are not beautiful, but there's more to beauty than how you look on the outside. I learned this from my mom when she told me a story of when she was in school, and she learned this from her teacher. So there were two girls, and one was wealthy and always had these beautiful outfits, and she was very kind. The other one wasn't so wealthy, and her family didn't make that much money, and she always wore old clothes and wasn't the nicest girl at school. One day they went on a camping trip, and the girl decided that her clothing and the way she looked was why she didn't have any friends, and she was very lonely on the trip. So she decided to trade clothing with the wealthy girl. So once they traded clothing, the wealthy girl who had the dirty clothes and the old clothes that had holes in it still had the same amount of friends as she did earlier. But the poor girl with the beautiful dress and the nice hair still didn't have any friends. From this, I learned that no matter how you look on the outside, it doesn't matter the way you look. It matters who you are on the inside that will change the people the people you know, and the people who you will know in the future. From this story, I also learned that when I look in the mirror sometimes and I tell myself, you look terrible, like something's wrong with you and you want to look like someone else, you don't like the way you look, and that's not what matters, it's what you are on the inside. There's so many people who go out and do plastic surgeries or make tattooed makeup and all this other stuff to change how they look on the outside, thinking that it's going to change the way people think of them. Sure, beauty is what you see first when you see someone, but it's what you are on the inside that'll truly make a difference. As well as the fact that you could, I don't know, get a boyfriend or a girlfriend because of the way you look. Later on, you'll understand that that's not going to change the friends or people you know in your life. I challenge you to embrace who you are on the outside, and no matter what the way you look, it's up to you to decide if you're beautiful on the inside. I also learned that no matter what you do or say, the way you act is what is beautiful, and not the things that you wear or the things that you want that is beautiful. So every single one of us in this room and everyone in this whole world is beautiful on the outside. But the beauty on the inside is up to you to change, or maybe you are beautiful on the inside, but that's what you do and that's the way you act. So it's up to you to be beautiful on the inside, because you all are beautiful on the outside. Thank you.
Good stuff, good stuff. All right, now do we need to pass the legal pad over to Jacob, who will be, yeah. Jacob, we've got paper for you. Oh, you got something? Okay, perfect. Oh, you guys are so prepared. Let's see, who's our last evaluator? It's going to be Pari. Okay, perfect. Okay. Are you ready? Okay. Our next speaker is Drishika Tamaya. Yes. Oh my God. Okay, let's continue learning. Her title is Light Pollution.
So our Earth is a planet, and there are many pollutions that we humans do. One example is air pollution, factories, cars. Another kind of pollution I'm going to talk about today is light pollution. That basically means that when we use too much artificial light, it can cause many effects, which I'm going to talk about in my speech. There are 4 kinds of light pollution: over-illumination, sky glow, light trespasses, and glare. I'm going to start talking with over-illumination. Over-illumination is when we're using light when that light is not needed, more like advertisements of companies or stores, or stadium lights. Glare is when there's too much light, which can basically not it reduces your visibility. You can't really see much when there's light glare. Light trespass is when there is, let's say there are two houses, and one house has a light outside their house, and the light reflects on the other house's window, and that can also create a glow, which can also create more light pollution. Sky glow is when the street lights, basically, when the light is going up. The street lights, some street lights, the basic light where we need is down, but the street lights also pollute upwards. And that reduces the visibility of the stars. So like if we go into big cities, we can't really see the stars, but in remote areas, we have a really starry night. Some problems caused by this light pollution is birds. Birds use stars, sun, and the moon to locate where they're going, where they're migrating, when the temperature changes. So when there's light pollution, artificial light, they can't really see the stars, moon, and sun to locate where they are going. And that causes a lot of bird death because they cannot locate where they're going, and they also crash into towers. These were a few examples of how problems are caused and what kinds of light pollution, but there's also a solution. If we use our lights at night, our artificial lights, basically to go down, not to go upwards, that will help a lot too. It's also when there's like a figure that when the light is totally going down, it's the perfect. When it's a little going up, it's still good, but when it's really going up, it is not good. Thank you.
You just won't walk down a street or look at lights downtown the same after that kind of conversation, that kind of speech. Really interesting. I swear she's going to be the head. I'm going to see Dr. Tamaya's team at the NASA, space. It's going to be, it's going to be incredible. And we'll be able to say we knew her when. So, let's see. Hari, you have something to write with, and you can see. Great. Our next speaker is Max Anderson. His title is Milo's Life.
Tonight I'm going to be talking about my dog, Milo's life. We got him over Facebook a couple years ago without my dad's permission, but since me and my mom are dog lovers, we got him. We rescued him from an abusive home. He was trained on so hunting dogs were trained on him, so he was more or less bait for the older dogs. And the kids also abused him. They sat on him, they hit him. He just wasn't loved, and when we got him, he had bite marks all over him. He was in a terrible condition and made it really sad. So it took a while. He didn't like humans, so when we first got him, we had to keep him in a crate for the longest time because he tried biting me, he tried biting my whole family. And the only people he's really warmed up to are me and my mom. He still nips at my whole family and me and my mom, but not as much because he's learned that if he nips at us, he will be punished for it, but not like abused punished. He'll be like spanked or telling him no so he knows he doesn't do it again. But for the first few months, we had to train him to eat food and eat water because usually he'd come after us or he'd be really timid and not come out or talk, and he'd just sit there and bark the whole time. So it took a while before he warmed up. And once he started to warm up, we were able to do more, like we were able to play, fetch the ball, and we were able to take him on walks, yet he still doesn't understand how to use a leash. he will go pulling all the way, or usually he walks normal, but there'll be like birds or squirrels. He hates squirrels. He loves going after them. It's so funny. We'll take him on car rides, and he'll be attacking the squirrels outside the windows, but he can't really get to them because the windows are up, or me and my mom have a really good hold on him. But now he's a lovable dog. There's so many good features about him. I like him because he's really nice. He cuddles in the bed with me every morning. He'll sleep with me. He won't bite me at night, which is thankful because he used to do that and it hurt a lot. And I used to wake up screaming because he would like nip at me, or I'd roll over and he'd be right there trying to attack me. And so it scared me, but he had to start off with my mom. But then I got him, so now he's my dog. And she says he's her dog. I don't let her say that. Because I was the one that got to make the decision if we get him or not. So now he's my dog. My brother doesn't understand how to treat him right, because a couple times Milo will like go under his bed or something, and then my brother will try to get him, but my brother doesn't come soft, and he'll just come and like yell at him to get out. So he'll call me and my mom. We'll have to come in, and we'll have to grab him out from under the bed, or shake the milk bone box, or whatever will get his attention. Probably safe, go for a ride, or get the squirrel, because all dogs like squirrels, or mailmen. Mailmen get them a lot. Like just today, I was in my room reading, and the mailman started walking by, and he went ballistic, and it was really annoying because his bark is really loud, and he has a strong bark for a little dog, and he's about this big. He's a poodle terrier mix, so he's small, but he gets along with our other 3 dogs, which surprisingly he gets along really well with a Chihuahua, even though the Chihuahua goes after his neck. Because we'll throw the ball, the Chihuahua doesn't understand that the ball is the game, not attack the dog. So she'll be nipping at Milo's neck, and he'll be running down the house or the room trying to get the ball, and there comes the Chihuahua coming after him. And we also have 2 other dogs. One's the dad of the other one, and he's just laid back, relaxed. They get along really well. They cuddle, they sleep together, they eat food together, all like family does. So that's what I call the dogs. They're family because they hang so much time with them. They also get to sleep at home all day, unlike me, I have to go to school. Their doggy school is food and outside. And outside, he really likes it because my mom has bird feeders, and if there's a squirrel out there, we'll say, go get the squirrel, and we'll open the door and he'll take off, and I'll keep the bird feeders clean. But why you guys should care is because this is my dog, I know, but you guys should go out there and see if you can save a dog's life, because it's really sad to see dogs abused and punished for not their fault. So please go out there and save as many dogs' lives as you can, but don't spend too much money because then you'll go broke. Thank you.
Chuckles on that one. We have, again, I'm really trying not to say anything. This is really hard. Everybody, all the Yelpers know this is very atypical of me not to say anything. Okay, our next speaker is Spencer, and is it Hilger? Yeah. Pronounce that right? Spencer Hilger. His title is Time.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. As you all just heard, my name is Spencer Hilger. Wow, I can't believe I already got that wrong. But I'm here today to talk to you about time. Now, this is a huge topic. I will not cover it all. Do not bombard me with questions after this is over. Getting that out there. And by the way, Helium is going to have a lot of Stephen Hawking in it. Good job. But anyway, so today I'm going to cover what time basically is. I am going to cover a few of the myths and other things like that in time. And I'm also going to say someone who is very important to the way that we understand time today. So first off, what is it? As you all know, time, second, minute, hour, all that stuff. So we'll just go over that. So ready? Start counting. Go. Stop. 1 second. Shazam. We're amazing. Okay, this time we're gonna do a minute, but it's gonna be quite a bit longer. So, go. I'm gonna talk during this thing. So do plants and animals interpret time differently? A good example of this was in the movie, the Disney and Pixar movie Epic, where all the little tiny dwarf guys went all over super speed everywhere, and the regular humans, as dopey as we are, were super slow and lazy. I personally do not believe this is true because first off, I have never seen a mini dwarf guy, and you can swat a fly. That's my point there. A few of the myths that I have. Is time travel possible? Yes, I personally believe this is true. Why? Because of an episode that I watched of Genius by Stephen Hawking, as I mentioned earlier, where they took atomic clocks, which are the most accurate clocks ever, and took them at different altitudes. Stop. 1 minute. Long or short? That's my point. But anyway, so they took atomic clocks, which are the most accurate clocks ever made. They synced them perfectly, and they had one go up to the top of a mountain. I'm not quite sure where they were, somewhere in Canada. But they took it to the top of a mountain. The other one was down right at ocean level. And they spent 24 hours at both locations, and in less than 24 hours, the clocks were completely unsynced. By nearly half of a second. Is that amazing or what? Seriously. In less than 24 hours, they time traveled. Shazam. DeLoreans, not so much, sorry. But anyway, time distortion, freezing time. No, this is a lie, it can't happen, the end. Another one, space-time. This is basically the concept where it's not space and time, they're all together as one, instead of just saying like it's 3 dimensions where it's like volume and all that stuff, time is a part of it too. It's true, just saying. And now, for my favorite part, the famous person. It's not a person, it's people. The Mayans, most accurate calendar ever invented. Now, the reason this is very interesting is because we still use basically their calendar today. Now, can you see the way the world is different from their time? We have restaurants, we have electricity, we have tons of tools and all that stuff. What did they have? Trees, bark, sticks, rocks, all that stuff. Nothing compared to what we have today. Is this not incredible? So in conclusion, take the time you have now, pun time, warning, considering we don't actually have to throw clocks out of windows to see time fly. Thank you.
That concludes our speaking portion, the 4 to 5 minutes. Congratulations, everybody, for going the distance and doing that. We're now going to take 5 minutes. Spencer, we should probably have you time it since you're so good with time. We're going to do 5 minutes, but no more, and we're going to have the ice cream chairman jump into action. You guys, all you guys, we need to get this done in 5 minutes. I'm going to have the La Hacienda people come in and move some plates, and then we want to be back here in 5 minutes to keep going. Thank you. All right, attention forward. Who has the floor?
You do.
Thank you. We're going to start our program up again, and now we're going to watch evaluation. I'm very excited about this. Evaluation's my favorite part of all of these. Our first evaluator, first of all, is everybody enjoying your ice cream? I should be a little more social first. Is everybody enjoying your ice cream? Is everybody enjoying meeting each other and seeing this? Perfect, perfect. Okay, enough of that. Our first evaluator is going to be a Heelan, and he is going to be evaluating Jacob. If you recall, Jacob was talking about entrepreneurship, and a Heelan's going to come up. All right, so let's go ahead. Have the timer. Yes. Okay. These are, by the way, these are 1 to 2 minute evaluations, so we're also being timed.
So I evaluated Jacob on his speech about entrepreneurship. Very good speech. I really liked it. So I'm going to talk about his content first, and then how he delivered it, if it was good or improvements that he could do to his speaking. His intro, he had a nice introduction. He introduced the topic nicely, and then he told us what we would gain from it. The skills of how to create a business, all the steps that you need to take to become a successful businessman or business lady, and business techniques, and hopefully you can tell me some cool advertising techniques to get the moolah, you know. So after this. So your body was really good too. You had all the steps. You had the steps that you chose. You did choosing the job that you want to do. You gotta like it. You have to have fun doing it. Hiring people, how to get the moolah again, and you connected with us really well. You told us about things that we would understand, like games. I understand games. I'm a guy. Of course I understand games. And candy. Everyone understands candy. Candy is everyone's favorite thing. So how we could get candy, or how we could get this. So you connected to us with something that you can that you like, that we like too. If that makes sense. Oops. Okay. Your conclusion was very well. You summarized everything. You brought everything together, which a conclusion should do. And you taught us about your business. And then you said, well, now try your own business. Here are the tips. Here are the techniques. Now go start one yourself. So your delivery technique was really good. You, I can see you looked at the handbook and you put a lot of thought into this. You talked very loud and very clearly. You had a lot of vocal variety for points at which it would be better to have some uptones or downtones, and questions were said nicely as well. There wasn't a lot of movement, but some of the movement was, I could say, unnecessary. But I couldn't quite see a lot of leg movement because I was sitting there. I couldn't see because of the table, but there were some hand gestures which enhanced the speech. So really well done. I really loved your speech about entrepreneurship, and I know that you've been interested in bow making, so hopefully you can start bow selling and stuff like that. Bows, yep, bows. So hopefully you can sell and become a successful bow seller person.
That's something we also learned. You don't abandon the ship. The person who's up here waits until the next person comes up and you hand off. Just like on a ship, the captain wouldn't leave the wheel before making sure that the next person was up there. So there's always, so these guys really do handoffs. Our next evaluator is Max evaluating Amaritha. And Amaritha was the speech about what is beauty.
Tonight, I evaluated Amaritha on her speech, What is Beauty? Her delivery was good. I could see good eye contact. She looked all over. She didn't look at one person. She spread it out throughout the whole crowd. And she also walked from point to point. So she would stand over here and talk about a point, and walk over here and talk about a point, but would never go back over her point, so that way you can understand each point in its own position. Some good gestures were she was weighing back and forth with her hands, so she would be like, beauty is outside or inside. She would wave those back and forth. Something that she could improve is probably swaying back and forth. I caught that a little bit. I don't know if you caught that or anyone else in the crowd saw it, but she would sway back and forth a little bit while she was standing still or maybe even sometimes walking. She had a good conclusion. It wrapped up all that she was talking about, and it told all her points that she wanted to get through to everyone out here in the crowd. Her good point was she enforces the points, so she'll like enforce it with her body, she'll move her hands, and something she could improve in the speech is don't use too much gestures. I could see a lot of hand movement or walking back and forth. If you could like stand and like do it every once in a while so it wasn't too often, I think that would be a little bit better. But otherwise, I really liked your speech and it was a really good speech. I didn't know that much about you. Thank you.
Comment on evaluation, and that Max did a very good evaluation, as did Helan, because they're making specific comments, which shows that they listened carefully to their speaker, and they actually gave examples. So when Helan was talking about Jacob and saying something about the foot, and then Max was talking about Amaritha and maybe some sort of swaying, he was showing exactly what he was talking about to also give a visual and give an example of what he was talking about. So these are all very good points, and talking about the content and then the delivery. Are you guys feeling like you've gotten some good feedback so far? Good evaluation? Okay, excellent. Our next evaluator is Jacob, who will be evaluating Drishika on light pollution speech.
Hello everybody, I evaluated Drishika on her light pollution speech. First off, to start off the day, Drishika was dressed for the occasion, which I didn't get the memo. I didn't dress up very well. I put this on, it looks a little bit better, but I thought her speech was very interesting. She would tell us different facts that I had no clue that artificial light would pollute things and kill birds and stuff. She had good examples at the beginning, which I think was a main part in grabbing your guys' attention. Like, it kills the birds and you can't see stars in cities and things like this. Or like that, I mean. I could obviously tell that Trishka looked up the topic and read a lot about it. Without looking that up, I don't think you would know half the facts that she knows. She knows a lot of facts. Some of the things that distracted me, and probably a few others of you a little bit, she would sway it back and forth like this a little bit, which I think she could use that to her advantage by like swaying this way, talk like this, swaying that way, come over here and make a different point. But she just kind of standing there. I don't think she realized it. A lot of people like fidget around with their hands or something, but I think she needs to, next time she practices her speech, practice in a mirror so she can see that. Also, she needs to, at some point, slow down a little bit, because your brain you're trying to think of what the word is to say, and just need to slow down, and it's alright to take a break and pause and talk. I thought the quote of Starry Night was pretty good, and your hand gestures I thought were actually pretty well. At first you started fidgeting around a little bit, but then I saw you knew this, and then you started using it to your advantage, which I thought was very good for your speech and it enhanced it. Overall, I thought your speech was very good and interesting. Thank you.
Evaluators are commenting on what is it that the audience is going to get out of this. So I'm very pleased with the speeches because they are putting in, well, what would you want, like Helan said something about, well, why would you care about what was it, cake and information and black holes and things like that. He gets it, so he relates it to the audience. And we're having calls to action and all kinds of things like that. So that's really good. As opposed to just standing and talking about something that you think is really interesting and you haven't connected with the audience. So that's really well done. Our final evaluator is Pari, evaluating Max.
I evaluated Max's speech, which was Milo's life. I think the introduction was very good because it said how you got the dog without telling your dad, which was kind of funny. One comment I had was in the body, you switched from like the beginning of the life to present day. So I would suggest maybe you practice that a little more, but it still made sense the way you talked about it, so it was all right. We got to know the dog very well, and I already feel like I have a connection with that dog, and I want to meet it. You knew your topic very well, obviously, because it's your dog. You told us why it mattered to us. It was a story of your dog, but you told us it mattered to us because we can help other dogs on the street who are being abused as your dog was. So that was good. I would say more organization in the body would be good. And you were fiddling with your jacket side. I don't think you noticed this, but you would just start doing some sort of this thingy. So don't do that. That was kind of distracting. I don't think anybody else noticed, but hey, that's what I'm here for. You were slightly swaying, just like a small little circle that you were doing. Just very, so use that to your advantage. Like when you're talking about the beginning of the life, go here and talk about the beginning and what happened. And then come here and talk about what happened like after the beginning, what happened after you got him, like he bit you and all that. And then talk about current day, what's going on right now with the dog. So I would say organization is a good thing to keep in mind, and maybe stop like swaying a little like I am right now. But all in all, it was a good speech.
Thank you.
Okay, these two speakers, are you feeling okay? Feeling like you got some good feedback? Let's see, who do I, how many, let's see.
1, 2,
Marissa and
3, 4.
yeah, Drishika. So Drishika and Max, did you guys feel like you had some good feedback? Something you could use if you were giving that talk again? Okay, so put that all into the hopper. Great. The hopper. Do they use that term anymore? Put it in the hopper? Put it in the wood chipper. Put it in the
Coppers in your pipe.
yeah, the crock pot, or put it in the, all right, anyway. Okay, so now we want to do some impromptu speaking. Yay! And I think what we're going to do first, we're going to have Andal Krishna, who, right? Is that right? Andal Krishna, who has been helping with this whole program. She's also a Toastmaster. She also has kids. She happens to have kids in there, the program. She's going to be doing the table topics questions. Okay, so what this is they're going to come up here. They have no idea what the question's going to be. Does that ever happen in life? Okay, that happens all the time in life. They have up to 30 seconds to think of an answer, which is what happens in life. You don't have to just immediately spit something out, but you need to get going after that. So it's using a different muscle set, and we're going to do some with that. Okay, so we're going to start with Adrian. Adrian.
So before I start, I wanted to welcome Spencer's family because I know you guys were having other appointments. Still, you could make it. Thank you for coming. And thank you, Jean. You spoke all that I was prepared for. You spoke for me.
Okay.
Thank you. You gave it.
Pitch it in.
Yes,
pitch it in.
perfect.
All right.
It all worked. I have 6 questions. You can pick one number. Which one?
3.
3. Your question for tonight is, where would you fly if you had wings and why?
If I had wings, I'd probably fly to the Bahamas, which is probably not a big surprise to some of you because it's so warm and nice there. I could just hang out on beaches or hanging out in trees, catching fish with my talons, or just soaring over, seeing all the fish in the water. It's also an exact experience when you can go through the trees, fly around there. Sometimes you can't see above because of the canopy. But if I had wings, I'd be able to fly above the canopy itself, so I could see everything going on there. And I could just go down, again if I wanted to, in between the trees, down to the forest floor to see what's going on there. There are tons of cool creatures there that I've never even heard of or seen before. Probably like the barracuda, anteaters, let's see, geckos, chameleons, a whole variety none of us have ever seen. But this place would be a perfect spot to fly if I had wings. And this is my table topic.
These are 1 to 2 minute speeches, so they are watching to see it when it goes green. That means they've gone 1 minute and they're good. So that was good, Adrian. Just so you know the parameters.
Thank you, Adrian, for taking us for the trip. Next, we have Amrita Kumar. One. If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
If I could pick any superpower in the whole world, it would be to fill things up. It's not very common, but if I had the ability to fill things up, I could fill literally anything. It could be someone's heart who needs loved, or it could even be a little can of pop that I don't want to pay for again, so I can just fill it up. If I had the ability to fill things up, I could basically do anything, almost. But if I didn't want to do my homework, I could fill up the places, and I'd have my homework done. If I had the ability to fill things up, my whole life would be easy, and I'd be a happy person. So that's why I'd like to fill things up.
That was a cool superpower that I can never imagine about. Next table topic speaker for tonight is Drishika. Yes, leaving 1 and 3. You have other options.
4.
Okay. What is your favorite family tradition and why? talk about the festival.
Okay, we want to have, you get one strike. You want to go for another question, or do you want to keep the one? Okay. And
Oh, sorry.
picture another one,
Okay.
please. Okay, just pick one.
If you could have one dream come true, what would it be and why?
Oh.
One of my dreams is to make everyone happy. If every illegal thing, every wrong thing happening, one example is cages where animals are not treated nicely. If those could stop, if all the environmental things that are wrong in the world could just stop, that would be a really wonderful dream come true for me. I've always dreamed of being an environmental lawyer, which I would like to ban all the wrong stuff happening in the world, genetic modifications in food, and many other problems. And if my dream of getting all those things banned would be a really nice dream come true. Zoos, when I've been to a few zoos and I feel sad for those animals which are just kept in a small cage and people come to see them and they stare at them, and how would the animals feel when we are looking at them or trying to learn at them. Some people are just staring at them or having weird reactions, and some snakes or some big animals just trapped in a small cage. So if all the wrong things happening with everyone in the world can stop, would be a really nice dream.
Hang on a second. Okay, so that was, were we all on the edge with her? She was working on that first question and like that. So that was a really, really good comeback. I mean, did your legs feel like they were gonna just fall out from under you? And like arms and stuff? So that was a really, really good, hanging in there and going forward. Okay, great. Just want everybody to appreciate that. Was quite awesome. Okay.
Yeah, I wish your dream come true, and that's one of my wish too. So next is Spencer. Hey.
It's our final
What is your least favorite chores at home and why?
And if that's too politically sensitive.
So, as you all know, my parents are here. This is going to get kind of nasty. Well, one of my least favorite chores at home, and most definitely I hate doing this. I never want to do it again. It's just nasty. Just folding laundry. It's so annoying. All you do is just 4 folds, stack it. It's never ending. Who does not agree with me here? As you can see, this is very annoying. Point taken by everybody, I believe. And sometimes they don't always come out that clean either. So that is my least favorite chore at home, and why I really do not like it. Yay.
I know it's your least favorite chores at home, Spencer, but trust me, it'll work. And one day your girlfriend will be very proud of you and she'll be very happy. She will be happiest person and she will praise your mom. So we would like to have a volunteer from our guest.
No. Okay, right, exactly.
Yeah. Max is pointing to his dad. And Spencer to his mom. I have one question.
All right, one question.
Why do you deserve an allowance? And how would you spend it if you get one?
Why do I deserve an allowance? I suppose the first reason why I might consider myself worthy of an allowance would be that I actually have a full-time job. Now it's true that the money that is earned is put into coffers which are then distributed evenly amongst the family in a purely socialist perspective. So everybody gets in, actually that's not even true. Why do I deserve an allowance? Really what it boils down to is how much time, how much energy, and how much efforts I expend to maintain the household, and how much time and energy and efforts that I give to everybody else in order to make their lives even a modicum easy. If there's something I can do that can simplify them, if there's anything I can do that can make them relax a little bit more and kind of feel a little bit more at peace in an everyday society or an everyday action, then in that respect, I think I deserve some sort of repayment, some sort of allowance. Now, if I make their lives more difficult, if I make their lives harder, if I demand more from them than I'm willing to give for them, then no, I don't deserve an allowance. Which is probably why I don't have one. But supposing for a moment that I actually was a much better person than I actually am, and I did deserve an allowance, there's no question, and it was touched on a couple times today, there's no question that I would absolutely spend the entirety, every solitary penny, every thin dime that I earn from that allowance on candy. Because it is the universal, everybody loves candy. So, that being said, I do believe that I could earn an allowance, and I should, but then again, maybe I shouldn't. And if I did have an allowance, I would spend it on candy.
We may get kicked out, but just resist. Pretend like you don't speak,
One more.
whatever.
No habla español.
One more parent.
Teacher, Miss Evelyn.
Yay, yay.
Yeah, thanks.
I don't have a question for you, but I'm going to
Okay.
make up one.
Okay.
You can talk about one best day at school and one worst day at school. Any incident.
This is gonna be a ball around.
And be watching for the timer.
Okay.
If it's green, you're good.
Okay. My best day at school and my worst day at school. I think my best day at school would have to do when something unexpected happens that turns into something great. Usually we teachers call that the teachable moment, where something little happens and you can turn it into a whole lesson or a great discussion. Those are the things that I like best at school, and they're usually the most memorable. Easily my worst days at school are when I find out that something has happened with the kids that is beyond any of our control. Whether it's something with their family or whether it's they're upset about something and there's nothing that we can do about it. Because that, of course, affects their learning, and it also it makes me concerned about them. And those are the things that I take home at night when I worry about the kids. So my best days always have to do with building something up from nothing. And my worst days usually have to do when something is big and I can't do anything about it because the helpless feeling is bad. So those are my best and worst days.
Thank you, Mrs. Edlin. So now we'll have our president, Jean. Take it over.
Thank you. Okay. We're just about to wrap up, but this is a graduation. I'd like all of the Yelpers, that's Youth Leadership Program, ERS. Yelpers, come up to the front. We're doing alphabetical, we're going from here to here, looking out, first name, first initial, A to Z.
Now?
Now.
Adrian's first. Yeah. I see.
Right. Well done.
Are you sure this is correct?
This is correct.
Okay.
They have practice over here.
This is correct. We have had seating assignments each time that have gotten progressively more elaborate with, if you can imagine, if you've done any sorting with Excel, we'll have anywhere from A to Z, we'll have third letter of your last name, Z to A, we'll do birthday months. It's been crazy, but it's been fun. It's been fun, yes? A little more enthusiastic.
Yes.
Okay, so really, honestly, all kidding aside, it's been really a privilege for me to meet some people I've re-met in this youth leadership program for spring 2016. And they have all done remarkably well. They have gone the distance. They have done the assignments, which is one of the skill sets that we're learning, is learning and then applying into our projects as we went through. You guys were awesome. So I'd like to present you with a hand-written by me certificate with gold marker on it as well as black. I'm not highly artistic, so this is quite my accomplishment. I'm going to hand them out, and then if anyone wants to take pictures, we can do that. Adrian Scotton, Ehilan Kumar, Amaritha Kumar, Drishika Tamaya, Jacob Scotton, Max Anderson, you're welcome, Hari, Nyack, and just hold them in the front so we can, yeah. It's not like at the police or anything. Okay, I think what we'll do is, we'll definitely have Max in the back. I think we'll have you 3 or 4 come up in the front and kind of come over here to be a little bit of a group. Yeah. What? Now that I just messed up your order, but you guys said, well, so kind of, now what you want to do when you have a group is, look, you guys in the front, look a little, just make sure your person in the back is not slotted out. Okay, everybody is seen? Can be seen? Okay.
You need to get away from them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have a certificate though.
That's your certificate.
It's blank, in case I have made a messed up or anything.
Oh.
Okay, well, so I'll come over here.
Just respond in the back and
You can replace
I'll just stand here looking like.
You can hold your drink.
Yeah, I can hold my ice cream. All right. So anyway, I'm really, really proud of these guys. I hope we meet again in another guise. And thank you. Okay, are all pictures taken? Okay, good. Thank you.
We have vote of thanks on behalf of all the members, youth leadership members. Aileen is going to give the vote of thanks.
Okay, guys. Okay. Oh yeah, I'd like to thank everyone, all of you guys. Thank you for coming, and also we'd like to have special thanks to Mrs. Edlin for, first of all, being an amazing teacher for some of the people here, and also for giving the information to us all, being the messenger for this club and everything.
Glad to pass it on.
Thank you very much. And again, we'd like to thank Beth Alonzo for giving us the space. We wouldn't have anywhere to do it. So thank you. And of course, we have to thank Jean for doing this for us, getting us